So what do you take away from the BYU game?
You know, there's a lot, and there's a lot of learning experiences in that game, and I certainly do not want to discredit BYU or their defense because they were obviously very, very good, and that environment is tough. That's a real tough environment up there in Provo, and credit to their fans. We can't beat ourselves. You know, when you look at the fact that we had 8 penalties, 5 of which happened within the red zone, that makes it pretty difficult. You know, when you have 5 penalties inside the 25, you know, we need to be better in the red zone. You know, when you look at 0 for 3 touchdowns in the red zone, you're not going to win football games doing that. And then obviously the turnovers there at the end of the half were too much to overcome at that particular time. So there were so many good things that did happen, and they were completely overshadowed by so many bad things. And a lot of those bad things are within our control, you know, whether it's a procedure call, flinching because we're trying to anticipate a call. You know, I believe we had 2 holding calls, both inside the 12 or 13-yard line, and that backs you up. Got to play with better technique. One of them is because one of the offense linemen didn't see kind of them exchanging man coverage on a counter play. And so a lot to learn for our players and a lot to learn for me as well.
What were the positives?
The positives, I thought that we got off to a really good start. You know, you look at the ability to sustain some drives there early on and move the football was very good, with the exception of some third down and 2 to 3 areas, especially when we look at it. That should be much better than where we were. But outside of that, that was a positive, and maybe I'm searching. We didn't have, you know, really any third and extra longs where we weren't efficient on first and second down on some things. So there's always going to be some good that maybe you do have to go search on. But we do need to promote some of the good as long as correct, obviously, a lot of the bad.
How close do you think it is to start clicking in the passing game more consistently?
Yeah, it is 100% a process, and it's to me it's a lot with myself as well as the offensive staff, and we are getting closer. We feel like we're getting closer, and this week, you know, and moving forward, that's something that we need to continue to work on. But it is something that we are working to improve every single week.
On the first drive of the game, you had the touchdown nullified to Keegan, then you give it to DJ on 3rd and 9. On that play, what made you think, let's run here?
Yeah, what we were thinking on that, and any time that you're in that situation, is if you can get to a manageable 4th down, do you have the ability to go for it there? And it's an interesting thing when you are in the red zone and the field is condensed, right? And then you have a 3rd and extra long. Okay, I think it's really advantage defense. And what we are looking to do is say, can we get 5 to 6 yards? And another negative that we had in that is we had 2 guys that heard the call incorrectly on that particular play and ran a different concept than what was called. That was in their student section. Is that an excuse? No, it's not, because everybody else did. But that was the thought process, was to get us into a 4th and manageable and then have the opportunity to go for it on 4th. When you get 3 yards on the particular play, now you're at 4th and 6. Once again, the field is condensed, and we chose to take the points.
Avery obviously struggled, you know, I think after that 2-minute mark and had a few turnovers. How has he responded this week to, you know, how he performed and heading into this week?
Yeah, and it's just not Avery who struggled there in that last few minutes, you know. And I think that's been a huge message all week, is that we need our best players, our most experienced players, to play better. And this week of practice, I've really appreciated how he's responded, you know, because you look at a game that it is frustrating. I know you guys are frustrated. I know the fans are frustrated. Everybody in this building is a little bit frustrated. However, we can't allow, and this is coach talk, but it's so true, we can't allow the same team to beat us twice. And to your point of how he's responded, I've been very pleased throughout this week of how he has shown that maturity, and we have to move forward. We talk quite often about a rear view mirror is much smaller than a windshield, but you still need that rear view mirror to learn and to grow. But as soon as that rear view mirror starts getting as big as a windshield, that's when you're going to have issue. So we need to learn and grow, but we still need to continue to push forward. We got a lot of season left, and I'm excited about Saturday morning.
Is what you've seen from the Oklahoma State defense kind of what you got from them the last few years?
Meaning?
Just structurally or schematically?
Yeah, no, they've changed. They changed a little bit a year ago. A year ago, they kind of had a little bit of a flavor of a 3-3-5, and you don't see that show up on film this year. So they've made some adjustments, and anytime that you do make adjustments, I think there's, I don't know if you want to say some growing pains maybe, that, you know, maybe some people might look at that Arkansas game and say, okay, this or that. You look at the game they played defensively against a very good Utah team last week, and you can tell that they are very much getting improved as well.
The Oklahoma State secondary is really active and I guess trying to help stop the run. Is that something you notice on film? And then
Yeah, you can notice they have some they got some larger, more physical safeties, and structurally that's something that maybe isn't conventional or something that you see on a week-to-week basis. However, what they're doing is you can see, obviously, I believe he's the second leading tackler in NCAA football. Maybe last week he was the leading tackler, and if he's listening and he is the leading tackler, I apologize, but I know he's one or two. And it's a credit to him, and it's a credit to his physicality, and he's a player who really showed up against us a year ago. And he's a guy that most definitely we're going to have to keep an eye out for.
DJ's a guy who, I don't know if he's ever fumbled before that that game the other day. As a coach, what do you say to a player when he makes a mistake like that?
Yeah, what you need to do is tell him to move on and to learn from it again. You know, we preach ball security every single week, and it's something that we work twice a week actually. You know, and Coach Anderson, you know, kind of made the comment for it. Was that, you know, he didn't have two hands on the ball. You know, he had his wrist above his elbow. He had the ball high and tight. You know, our second puller on that particular play got hung up at the LOS, and that play side linebacker is a great hit and great play by him. But just continue to learn from it that we need to protect the football when anticipating contact.
Anything else?
The wide receivers, how have they looked over the last few weeks? And
Continually getting, continually improving. You know, and there's some things that you see when you watch film that you know that maybe they're not getting the ball thrown their way, that you are seeing improvement, and that's the whole landscape of what we need to continue to work. And there's still, you know, a few details. But that's for everyone. You know, you can say the wide receivers, you can say the offensive line. We talked running backs, quarterbacks, tight ends, wherever that might be. That's all of them. So it's continually improving.